This deck list was supposed to come out a couple of weeks ago, but now I forgot and the Cowboy set is right around the corner. Aiden, and this is the VG Punk channel. So as you can see, we are doing the Shadow Paladin deck profile for the Vanguard collab, which I wasn't expect to get Shadow Paladin. I was expect to get Royal Paladin, but in the end, this and that happened, and I end up with Shadow Paladin, which is fine. It's a great deck, and it's also go well with the deck that I have in regular Shadowverse, which is Abysscraft. Now, a quick TLDR of the deck is that I built it to be very aggro because I know this deck cannot stand to the meta deck of the set, which is Kagero, if it goes too long. So my plan is being very aggro and hopefully beat them by 6 mana, or get myself really close to there to just like do chip damage and surprise them in the end to finish the game around 6 mana. As you can see, our starter amulet is the only starter amulet that Shadow Paladin have, which is Full Bout. You want to crack this baby as soon as possible. So if you have a 1 cost, do I have 1 cost? I don't think I have 1 cost. If you have 1 cost or 2 cost Shadow Paladin that you throw onto the field, immediately crack Full Bout, because him sticking around does not matter. Now we have not the meat and potato of the deck, but he's the one that enable the meat and potato. That's Blaster Dart. Apparently he's one of the more expensive legendary of this set, which is I wasn't expecting that, but I guess because technically he does play, you can play him in regular Abysscraft deck, which kind of makes sense. But he evolved for 1 and he has single drive, so you can drive check 1 time. I'm not going to explain drive check because you should know what that is already. And on place, which is on Fanfare, he buried 2 cards from the top of your deck, which is great because you want to mill as much as possible in this deck, which is also why you should crack Full Bout as quickly as possible. Now, the meat and potato of the deck is actually Phantom Blaster Dragon, which we like to call, as Vanguard player, Peanut Butter Dragon. In addition to paying the 3 costs to play him, you also have to bury a Shadow Paladin follower, hopefully, specifically, Blaster Dart. We'll get to that in a little bit. He evolved for 1, and he inherently has Storm and Twin Drive, which means he can drive check twice. Oh my god, and he can attack right as you play him. Oh my god, this is amazing for a 4 attack body. And then on Fanfare, if you bury a Blaster Dart as an additional cost to this card, you can evolve this for free. This is also evolved via an effect, so if you evolve, say, your Blaster Dart already, you could just get a free evolve with Phantom Blaster Dragon, which is awesome. Now, Phantom Blaster Dragon does have an evolve form in Phantom Blaster Overlord. Now, most people think that this guy is the game winner. He's not actually the game winner. He's just there for cutesy. If you can actually play this deck without running him at all, which is kind of weird. But he said if you have 15 Shadow Paladin card in your cemetery, you can bury a Phantom Blaster Dragon instead of paying the cost for this. So he's a 9 cost that could be a 0 cost. Now, the reason why I don't care much about Phantom Blaster Overlord is because I could get to the 15 Shadow Paladin card in my cemetery, but that take too much work and that take away from my aggro-ness, so he's just there for a precaution. He does have Ward and Twin Drive, which is great, but like I say, it doesn't have Storm, so I can't be aggro about it, you know? So I just use him as a funny button. His fanfare is that he can select a enemy follower on the field and destroy them, and then you can draw 3 cards, which is amazing. He's a very good resource card, but he is definitely not the game winner. The game winner is Peanut Butter Dragon. And for a payment of 1 and discarding a copy of him, you can give this follower +6/+6, which will make him a 12th health. That is amazing, but Like I say, it's more of a win more kind of strategy, so I don't really care for the all of the effect. If I have it and I'm able to play it without negging me, I will. But if I don't have it, I don't care. Now, the other glue of the deck is Blaster Javelin. He have Rush, don't care, but the more important effect is that on Fanfare, on place, I can discard a Vanguard card and search my deck for a Phantom Blaster Dragon or a Blaster Dark and add it to my hand, and then shuffle the deck. He searched out either the glue of the deck or the winning piece of the deck. Amazing, amazing. And it's just for 2 costs. And the 2 cost is important because we play 3 copy of Darkness Maiden Maka. She can gain drive if I pay 1 and a drive card from my evolved deck, similar to the carrot from Umumusame. And on drive, it says that this unit get +1/+1. You hear the Vanguard. You hear the Vanguard player in me. I say this unit instead of this follower. This follower get +1/+1, so she become a 4/4. And then I can search my deck for a Shadow Paladin follower that is a 2 cost or less and summon them, then shuffle the deck. The majority of the time, we will summon out Blaster Javelin just to search for our pieces. There are moments where you search out this other piece that we will get to later on, but most of the time, Blaster Javelin. She have 1 drive, which is good, but again, it's the Blaster Dark and the Phantom Blaster Dragon that we care to drive for. Other stuff, we don't care that much. Now, we have Skull Witch Namain. She's a 4 cost. That's technically a 5 cost because we want to give her drive. Now, on drive, she get +1/+1, so she's a 4/4, similar to Maka, but unlike Maka, she look at top 3. And then I review a Shadow Paladin card from among them, add it to my hand, and bury the rest. She add a card to your hand, and she increase the number of cards in your cemetery. This is amazing, but I do find myself not playing her as much, which is fine. But when I do play her, it's mostly for that fanfare effect where I get to select an opponent follower and deal it 4 damage. This deck actually, as I play it, it have really good removal, but it doesn't have as much removal as I want it to have, so that's why I care more about Namain on place effect rather than her on drive effect. She does also get drive, so that means she does 1 drive check. Amazing. Now, Dark Shield Maclear is our quick spell. It costs 1 and it either Angelic Snipe, which means it does 2 damage to an enemy follower. That's amazing in a regular deck. But this is a Shadow Paladin deck, a Vanguard deck, which means we're going to use the second effect, which is I discard a Shadow Paladin card and select an enemy follower, deal it 3 damage, and mill 1 card. It's the milling that I care about most of the time. Just with Maclear, I have 3 card. Yeah, I have 3 card in my cemetery. 3 Shadow Paladin card. It's the preferred way. It's great. I don't know what else to say about it. It's the card that we're going to get to later on. That's more of the tech one. So far, everything is like, I think it's absolutely necessary. But people might think that I'm wrong. Now, we're going to get to the trigger. Oh, this feels like a Vanguard deck list. The trigger, you're going to play 3 of the Grim Reaper. He's a 2 cost that say if I have 10 or more Shadow Paladin card in my cemetery, he gets Storm. He's a 2 cost that have 3 attack with Storm, because you will have 10 Shadow Paladin card no matter, like, once you hit 4 or 5 mana, you should have 10 Shadow Paladin card in your cemetery. If you don't, I think you're playing this deck pretty badly. He's the other finisher of the deck because since he's a 2 cost, you can technically search it out with Maka, Maiden of Darkness Maka, instead of search out for Blaster Javelin. Yeah, and most of the time I'm able to get him back to my hand or back to the deck to bring him out. He and Peanut Butter Dragon, the 2 of them, I think do a lot of damage to the opponent. Next is, I think it's a pretty important resource piece, which is Abyss Freezer. Now, Abyss Freezer is a 2 cost, still pretty high attack for a 2 cost, a 3/2 that costs 2, and on Fanfare I discard a Shadow Paladin card and I select a Shadow Paladin follower from my cemetery and add it to my hand. Say you mill your Phantom Blaster Dragon, your Blaster Dart, your Grim Reaper. You can just ditch something that you don't need from your hand and add those cards back to your hand, which is great. I find myself using that effect more than I like to admit because, hey, you randomly mill stuff from your deck. You're gonna hit your game pieces and you're gonna need a way to get those game pieces back. See the Vanguard player in me. 3 of the Abyss Healer. The trigger will give you 3 life back, but on Fanfare, if I have 10 or more Shadow Paladin, it also give me 3 life back, and it have ward. It's great if you're going against a really aggro deck that could out aggro this deck, but most of the time I just play it on turn 2 so that way I can crack my full bow. It's not a big deal. I mostly use it because of the trigger effect, not for its actual like on place effect. Similar to that is the Darkside Trumpeter. I used to play a full playset of all the trigger, and then I cut the stand trigger and I cut a little bit of the heal trigger to see how it feel. It actually feel pretty bad because the trigger itself was able to mill themselves, so that increased my cemetery count, my necro charge, which is what I like. I think the best bet is to play a full play set of trigger. Now for Darkside Trumpeter, it's a stand trigger. It'll stand one of the things that's already tapped. It'll stand them again, but that thing can't attack the opponent face again, which is fine. It's whatever. At the end of your turn, you can select a Shadow Paladin follower on your field, and if I have 10 or more Shadow Paladin in my cemetery, I can refresh it, which means I can stand it back up so the opponent can't attack into it. That's a pretty good way to protect some of your card, but you know, a lot of stuff in Shadowverse have targeted destruction, so it helps somewhat. Most of the time I use it to protect, I don't know what I would protect because I'm aggro. I'm supposed to like boom, bada bing, bada boom it really quickly. It's a 1 cost too, so if you draw it into your hand, just place it down and get rid of the full bow, okay? Now the 2 non-Shadow Paladin card that I play is, I play 2 of the Luckbird and then 2 of the Starcall Trumpeter. Now the Luckbird, because we mill so much, we're gonna have a lot of our trigger already in the cemetery. Luckbird, don't bother with the first effect, it's the second effect. Select 5 follower with triggers in your cemetery, return them to the deck, shuffle your deck, draw a card, and recover 1 play point. Now that effect is how you're gonna end a lot of game with, especially with Phantom Blaster Dragon, because you mill your deck so much, your deck gonna be like, what, 8 to 10 card left in the deck, and then you put 5 trigger back. And then your Phantom Blaster Dragon drive check twice. The chances of hitting it is gonna be huge. Now, I play 2 because if I don't use Luckbird until the very end. So if I mill one of my Luckbird, I have another Luckbird somewhere, hopefully. It hasn't failed me yet, so there you go. You could play 3 of the Luckbird, but then you're gonna have to cut down on some of the non-Shadow Paladin stuff, and I don't want to cut down on my non-Shadow Paladin stuff because a lot of people gonna give me shit for playing Starcall Trumpeter, which is very similar to Skull Witch Naming. It's a 4 cost, that's a 3/3, but on drive, for 1, it'll select up to 1 enemy follower on the field and deal it 4 damage, and this follower get +1/+1, so it become a 4/4. Now, that effect is good and well, another destruction effect in the deck, but it's really the Fanfare that I play this card for, which is on Fanfare, search your deck up to 2 cards with Blaster in their name, reveal them, add 1 to hand, bury the other one. Most of the time, like Blaster Javelin, you can add Phantom Blaster Dragon or Blaster Dart to your hand, but specifically why I play Starcall Trumpeter is that I can add Phantom Blaster Overlord. Starcall Trumpeter can help me find 3 cards. She is the reason why I lower the amount of PBO that I play, so that way I can play her. I personally like the 2/2 of both of these cards. Now, these are the cards that I'm very meh about. The 3 cards that I choose as my tech is 2 Knight of Nihility Masquerade and 1 of the Witch of Nostrum Arian Rod. The reason why I choose them, they fill my cemetery and they're low cost, so they're there for that. But honestly, I only choose them because they're foil card, nothing more than that. And most of the time they're discard fodder, or they're what is that called? Sacrifice fodder for PBO. You can change them if you want, but hopefully you change it to something with 2 or less cost, so that way you can crack full bout as quickly as possible. For the evolve deck, we play 3 of the Blaster Dark evolve, 3 of the PBD evolve, and 4 of the Drive Point. Now, the Drive Point is self-explanatory. They're there for a card like Maka, mostly Maka, Skull Witch in the main, Starlight Trumpeter, and the one Arian Rod, which we don't care about. So yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory there. Now, the Blaster Dark pop one thing, basically, because on evolve, it says select an enemy follower and deal it 3 damage, which should kill most thing, but it can deal an extra damage for every 5 Shadow Paladin in your cemetery. So it can also kill 4 booty things or 5 booty things, which is great. And then the Phantom Blaster Dragon evolve, it still have the Storm and the Twin Drive, but on evolve it say pick an enemy follower on the field, and if you have 10 or more Shadow Paladin in your cemetery, destroy that enemy follower. That's great because it clear up the way for your Phantom Blaster to just go face for 5 attack. Now, if you have, say, 6 or 7 mana, that should be how this combo thingy pop off. Especially if you go second with some evolve point left, you would play Blaster Dark for 3 and then evolve it, the evolve Blaster Dark, pop one thing, use the Blaster Dark evolve to hit something else. That's 2 enemy follower down, and then you use the rest of your mana to play Phantom Blaster Dragon and then sacrifice Blaster Dark for it. Now, because you sacrifice Blaster Dark, Phantom Blaster Dragon will just evolve by itself because it evolved by effect, not by you manually pay something to evolve it, which means it could kill another thing, which means you pop 3 things in that combo, which it should clear the way for Phantom Blaster Dragon to hit face for 5, assuming you don't get triggers. Jesus Christ, if you get what's that called? Crit trigger off of this, that's a lot of damage. You can play that effect multiple times throughout the game, even earlier, if your opponent choose not to kill your Blaster Dark. That's the end of the deck. That's the end of the deck tech video. Now, how do I feel about the deck? I think the deck is fine. It's fun, it's aggro, I like aggro stuff, but I don't think the deck will last long past the Cowboy set, which is the next set. It's fun for now, like it's Vanguard, so of course it's gonna be fun for me as a Vanguard player, but in the future I'm probably gonna take it apart and put the pieces, especially the Blaster Dark, into a Necrocharge Abysscraft deck. But I'm having fun with it right now, and I'm probably gonna pull it out whenever a friend of mine decide to pull out a Vanguard Shadowverse deck against me. On the other hand, I'm probably gonna keep the Lukier deck that I built for this collab attached together. Maybe I should use the Lukier deck instead of the Phantom Blaster Dragon deck. Oh well, whatever. We'll think about it when we get there. Now, that is it for the video. Let me know what deck you built from the Vanguard collab. If you're like a Vanguard player, like which deck did you choose? All of the deck are viable right now in my opinion, and they'll be viable for at least one set. They can stand up, I think, pretty well to the Cowboy set, but we'll see. We'll see. Personally, after playing it a bit, I would say Kagero is still the best deck in the meta. That is it for the video. Remember to take care of yourself, and I'll be seeing you real soon, my love. See ya.